812, room 815. Like a hotel, I went back into the stairwell. I decided I must have miscounted. I started again, this time counting each floor aloud. $9, 8, $7, car, 7, 6. When I opened the door at 6, I was in a basement. Not a basement with mechanical systems and storage, which is what the actual basement level of our building contains. This was different. Industrial shelving lined the hallway. Rows of it, extending maybe 50 feet before the hallway ended. The shelves held boxes. Thousands of boxes, all identical, all unmarked. The lighting was fluorescent but weak, like it was struggling. No windows, no exits that I could see. I went back into the stairwell immediately. I didn't think about it much then, just felt a spike of adrenaline and decided I must have gotten turned around. I climbed back up. 1, 2, 3 time by. When I opened the door at 3, I was in an apartment building hallway. I remember the carpet, dark red with a geometric pattern that had to be from the 1970s. The walls were wood paneled. The door plaque said things like 3C, 3'd. The corridor had a smell, not necessarily bad, but distinct. Stale, like a place that's been closed up for a long time. My heart was moving faster now. I went back into the stairwell. This time, I didn't count. I just climbed. 3 flights, 4, 5. I opened a door and found myself in what looked like the ground floor of the office building. The lobby. Except when I walked out, I was standing in a small foyer with a mailbox wall and a locked exterior door. Through the reinforced glass window in the door, I could see a street I didn't recognize. Dark, industrial. No cars, no people. I went back to the stairwell. At this point, I wasn't thinking clearly. I climbed to what should have been the 11th floor. My floor. The door opened onto a hallway that was completely unfamiliar. The lighting was the same fluorescent, but the hallway was narrower than ours. The walls were painted a shade of green that made me think of institutions, hospitals, or prisons. There were office doors, but no nameplates, just numbers. I walked about 20 feet and found a window. Looking out, I was staring at the same street from the ground floor view, but I was high up. Maybe 15, 20 stories up. The perspective made my stomach turn. I went back to the stairwell and sat down on one of the steps. I don't know how long I sat there. Maybe 5 minutes. Maybe 15. I was trying to think about what was happening logically. The building had multiple stairwells, I reasoned. I must have entered a different one by accident. When I got back to work, I'd ask someone about the layout. That was it. I'd simply gotten confused. I climbed again, this time deliberately. I counted 15, 16, 17. At 17, I opened the door and saw my office. The door to my department. My co-workers at their desks through the glass partition. Everything exactly as it should be. I walked directly to my supervisor and asked if I could leave early. I told him I wasn't feeling well. He asked if I needed to see a doctor. I said no, just needed to go home. He approved it. I took the elevator down. I didn't touch the stairwell, and I left. I didn't come back the next day. I called in sick. The day after that, I quit. I told him it was a personal matter. I didn't try to explain what happened because I couldn't. I still can't, not in a way that makes sense. What I do know is this. I've driven past the Meridian building since then. It's a normal building. 23 stories. Nothing unusual. I've looked up old building records. There was never an expansion, no underground levels beyond the standard basement. The building was constructed as it currently exists. But I also know that I used those stairs hundreds of times, and I never once experienced what I experienced that Tuesday. The stairwell I've used 100 times and the stairwell I used that day cannot be the same thing. And I don't know how both exist in the same building, or if they do, what the difference between them is. I think about it sometimes. About whether other people have used that stairwell. Whether they've noticed. Whether they've quit like I did. Or if they accepted it as something inexplicable and just kept going to work. I've never found anyone willing to talk about it. All I know is that I won't go back. And if you work in an office building with a stairwell, count the floors very carefully. Make sure they match what you expect.